What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Chris, as always with me.
Ready, Liam.
He's ready. Today we're diving into Handmaid's Tale Season 2, Episode 9. If you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome. We are not experts. We are just two guys who like to really talk about entertainment, so a show about shows, if you will. And we have been going back through, Handmaid's Tale, based on your requests of our review of Season 6. And so many of you have been on this journey with us. Welcome back. And we'll see you guys in the comments shortly. You know how this goes. But if you're just tuning in for the first time, a couple of things I want to share with you. One, the like button is how you let us know that you enjoyed this specific video. So if at any point you find this to be great content, you're enjoying something, you found value from it, hit that like button and let us know. If you want to engage with us, have a conversation, share your input, share your advice without spoiling it, that's where you do it down in the comments. And if you want to keep joining us on this journey, we review Handmaid's Tale, Alien Earth, Institute. We're reviewing a lot of stuff right now. Foundation Season 3. And so if you enjoyed that kind of stuff, best way to join us on that is to hit subscribe and then join us on the playlist. We build a playlist for everything we do, and you can just binge it out, much like a Netflix series. And so without further ado, we're going to dive right in.
Yeah, this one opened up with June's monologue, which was absolutely hilarious. She's talking about the room being a 3-star A or B, something like that, dive bar. And then her mind goes to someplace way darker at the end there, right before it cuts off. It's like, or a sharp machete. Fucking love that part.
Yeah.
And then we find out that the Waterfords are leaving to Canada, leaving a child in charge. During that scene, I was looking at him, I was like, damn, he's just a kid. And then I realized, fuck, that's what we looked like back then when we were in the military.
Absolutely, yeah. Enlisted when I was 17 to the DEP program, and then, officially went through and did all this stuff when I was 18. But yeah, I was a baby. Baby, yeah.
I realized that again last night when I was watching that scene. I was like, damn, that's how young we used to look to everyone when they didn't take us seriously and we got upset about it.
Certainly had no white or gray in the beard, if no beard at all, actually, yeah.
I don't have any of that.
Yeah, no, I mean, this episode was a good one, but it was also one where not a lot of action, right? Not a lot of like crazy things happening, but a lot of plot movement. And so, like you mentioned, I won't repeat it, but we had the Waterfords going off to Canada, and we have Isaac, the baby guardian, basically taking over, watching the house for them.
What an asshole, too.
He's a believer. A true believer of the, whatever, dogma of Gilead. So
I know what happens, so I can't wait for you to see the next episode. But
I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop with Eden.
Okay.
And the introduction of the interactions with Isaac and Eden in this episode made me start to think that, maybe it won't be Fred, but it's going to be somebody.
Yeah, you like how she spoon-fed him?
Yeah, she's so desperate for approval, and it's like so a believer of this dogma that like she's been set up for failure from the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah, she's acting like a 1920s housewife right now. It's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm. And she also found out that she'll be leaving as soon as the baby's born.
Yeah, confirmation. We, as the viewer, knew that this was inevitable, that because of everything that was happening, she wasn't going to be around much longer after the baby. Mm-hmm. Whether that was execution or just moving her out or whatever it was going to be, we knew that. But Serena confirms it for us in this episode that haven't we all had enough of each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, what line?
And that's all coming, I believe, from her self-hatred of what just happened to her.
Yeah. I mean, it's easier to move on and forget when you don't have a constant reminder in your face. Yeah.
So June and Janine are out walking.
Yeah.
And that one scene where they're arguing, she lets her know that she's going to have to leave after the baby. Janine's like defending her, like, you can't do that. They can't do that kind of thing. And Janine won't calm down because she's like a dog with a bone when it comes to kids. And she will just forget her sanity, right? So she's talking and she won't stop. She mouths back at the young guardian, Isaac, you said his name was?
Yeah, I believe that's what his name was, yeah.
All right. And then he just butts her in the face.
Yeah. So last episode we were talking and I had mentioned that June, it seemed that June had like the ability to like make the guardian back up, right? Like with her words, she was like, leave us alone, I got this. And he was like, okay, I'll let you get it. Which to me felt off for the way that Gilead operates. But then you mentioned not everyone's a believer. Some of them are actually sympathizers. And in that episode, we saw multiple cases of that. And so makes sense. And in this episode, it played out more like I would expect a Gilead, like what I would see on the streets of Gilead, where someone who is a piece of property in their eyes is not obeying, is not listening. And so they are completely okay with enacting violence onto them.
Yep, less than human. And to me, Isaac portrays the male counterpart to Eden.
A little deeper.
So he's essentially raised in his formative years here as well, right? So this is the male counterpart to her. He's got all this power. He thinks all the things he's doing is absolute right and God-given divine power that he is supposed to enact upon women and everyone else who is not them. So that's why I say that Isaac is the introduction of another young person brought up just of the male spectrum.
Yeah, so knows nothing but this. This is the truth. This is life. This is, if you were to show them Canada, they would be perplexed, like they were in another world.
Yeah. Speaking of Canada, so let's go to Canada.
Yeah.
They're arriving in Canada, and you see Serena having all this nostalgia of young love, the couple kissing on the steps thing, right? And then just seeing business as usual, everyone happy and just enjoying themselves, which is a stark reminder that that's not what Gilead's like.
Not even close, yeah. I want to know from you guys, all of you who have watched and are on the Serena deserves no redemption arc, like that. You're all on that train together, right? I'm also on the back of that train too, but I know how it ends, and I feel like karma really caught up with it. But I want to know one thing. Watching this episode and watching Serena have to face the music of what she's created and see what she's lost, and actually like it blatantly like have to accept the fact that what she's doing is wrong based on the actions of others and the words of others, even though she's kind of I would say not letting it in. It's around her. How did you feel about Serena in this episode? Like, did you feel she got what she deserved? Did you feel that she was a victim? Like, what were your thoughts on her?
That's hard to answer, because yes, she is a victim, but she's also a victim of her own creation. So in turn, does that still make her a victim?
I think there's a sense of like fault and responsibility, right? Like something can be someone's fault, but at the end of the day, it's your responsibility for how you act with it. I think that for me, I asked this question because for me, as I was watching Serena like come face to face with the realities of what she had created.
Yes.
And on multiple occasions, like you said, when the guys were kissing, or when the one representative mentioned that he'd love to come back to America when it's safe for him and his husband, like there were certain little like, and then obviously we had Mark show up and he's talking to her, we can get you to Hawaii. So all these different things that are happening where she's blatantly seeing in real time, like one, there's a better place for her. Two, some of the things that she has done have created absolute harm, and like the rest of the world sees that. And I don't know, I felt in certain spots, and I know I kind of go on a little bit of a tangent, but I felt on certain spots sympathy for her. I felt bad for her in certain places. But then in true Serena form, she does something or moves through it in a way that allows me to be like, okay, she's set herself up for it. Like I can't help her. Not that I could help her anyway.
I was waiting for another hurt people thing. Because you say that a lot when it comes to Serena.
It's a reality of life.
I understand that.
But at the same time,
it's also becoming a trope when it comes to you talking about Serena.
I've stopped saying it, haven't I? I stopped saying it. She has evil deep inside of her. She really does. And she can unleash it on people. But at the most part, she's just a selfish bully is what she is. And that can be evil too, right? Like there's variations and layers to it. And I think when you look at it from the whole, you have people like Fred who are like very evil, willing to inflict complete acts of violence and cruelty onto others as if they are not even human. And then you have Serena, who's like a layer below that, who will do those things, but for her own selfish means to get what she wants, where I think Fred really enjoys it.
So let's go back to the whole frog in boiling water thing, right?
Yeah.
She was so used to being in Gilead with the slow ramp up to the boil that she lost sight of where they came from. So this was that huge reminder for her, like, holy shit, we've come way further than I thought we ever did. She may have created this narrative in her brain where she's just like, you know what, it's really not that different. I mean, there's just slight differences, but this threw it in her face.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like it was so important. And when the two of them walked up to the delegation in Canada, they were talking to them. Obviously, one was outspoken, the one about I'll come when my husband and I are welcome, that one. But the other two were cordial, at least.
Yeah.
Right? The one lady gave Serena a piece of paper with no words on it, just pictures like a fucking child.
I think
It's their loophole
it's
for not reading.
respecting Gilead.
It is. But to me, it feels like a child, and you could see that look on Serena's face, like, I'm not a kid kind of thing, right? Even though it's their rules. They made these rules up.
Yeah. Yep.
But during that whole encounter, then we have Luke showing up to the protest.
Yeah, so Luke becomes aware that Waterford's in Canada.
Moira saw it on the news. I can't remember the other girl's name, the bluff that's living in the apartment with them.
The one that was mute, that isn't
yeah.
mute anymore. Yeah, it's slipping my mind too.
And it looks like she's regressing again. Partway through the episode, it looks like she starts to regress again and start to shut down because Waterford's here.
Yeah, it's a lot of trauma, but I think she's the one who ultimately steps up and says we can make a difference with these. So hopefully that helps her, right?
Yeah, we haven't got to that part yet.
Yeah. Well, you started talking about her, and I was like reflecting on her character in this episode, and I was like, yeah, she did have moments of weakness, but she also had moments of great strength.
So bring us into that part then.
Yeah, so, they're aware that Waterford's there. Waterford's directly connected to June. Moira they all are very aware of this.
Goes up, talks to Fred.
Yeah.
And that's where Nick realizes, oh shit, this is June's husband.
Well, I don't know, man. I can armchair quarterback all day, but if I were in Luke's shoes, the last thing I would want to do is provoke or anger the person who literally has my wife captive. So if I was going to take some sort of action that was going to ultimately create backlash, I'd JFK that shit. I'd be the sniper in the fucking... No, I'd take that dude out before he even before he went into the freaking building, he'd be done. And so for me, with Luke's character, I struggle, and obviously it's written this way for a reason, and I enjoy the series, but his character, the actions that he takes, would make sense to me if his underlining motive was, I don't want to bring harm to June. But then he gets in front of Waterford with a picture of June and calls him out. Well, there's going to be backlash. So I was trying to figure out what was he thinking? What do you think was going to happen? He was going to talk Waterford out of it and have him give him June back?
Well, the whole idea right now is while they're there, everyone is well, clearly not everyone, but there's a large percentage of people that are all right, let's hear what he has to say kind of thing. And the point of the protest is draw attention of all the cruelty and fucked up shit that they're doing in Gilead.
Yeah, I think just kill him.
Well, we'll see.
I don't know.
But then Nick later on goes to find him.
Right.
At the bar.
Yeah.
He's a little sloshed.
He's pretty drunk most of this episode trying to deal with the information he's being given, which probably isn't the best state of mind to be making decisions from, but here we are. I was curious what Nick was going to do. Did Nick just want to meet his competition? Was Nick trying to help Luke somehow? What was he going to do?
I think he's still just trying to help June.
And that's ultimately when he hands him the letters, I got that same feeling too. Because one, he gave him his real name, which that to me was oh, dude, that could backlash on you. So you're making some silly decisions here. But when he went there, put himself in harm's way, put himself in a very uncomfortable situation, talking to the husband of the woman you're sleeping with, having a baby with. Although he didn't tell Luke that. He didn't tell Luke that.
He goes, whose baby?
He always says, is it Waterfords? Yeah. And he says, yeah. But he didn't lie, because technically, when all said and done, Waterford's going to get it, right? But at the same time, probably not the best place to be telling, the husband of the woman, it's mine. I put that baby in there, that's not going to work out well, especially in a bar. But yeah, he ends up handing him the letters. And that's where I was yep, same page as you. He's there for June. He's trying to make sure that he can do anything he can to help June.
And then Luke brings the letters back to the place, and the letters come full circle because Moira's one of the ones that helped June get the letters in the first place.
Yeah. And she's, fuck these letters.
Yep, that's why I love that line. Moira is such an awesome character, and she has such good lines sometimes.
Yeah. And then she mentions wanting to blow him up. And then that's when our friend there, the mute, no longer mute, I can't remember her name, but let's know down in the comments, help us out, says we can blow this up. These letters can do that. And that's when, cut to black. We don't know exactly what happens, which is, movies, that's what they did. We get next day, and Fred and Serena are coming down from the rooms to go meet with the delegation for their activities for the day. And they are met with a very cold welcome.
Oh, yeah.
We want nothing to do with you. We believe the women in those letters. You can't even go upstairs to get your stuff. We're going to escort you directly to the airport. Your stuff will be behind you. You are out of here.
Kicked out of the country. Kicked
out of the country. Now, Fred has had an explosion happen on his watch. He's had a captured on his watch. And he's had a delegation go to complete shit on his watch. I'm excited to see where that goes for him, because I don't think it's going to go anyplace good.
You think he's going to search down to figure out where those letters came from or who brought them?
I think there will be an investigation on that 100%, because there's no coincidence that those letters show up at the same time Fred does.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of this heat's going to come on to Fred, which is going to make Fred show his true colors even more, which is going to, shit rolls downhill, right? So the house is going to feel it, which means that June's going to feel it. And so we'll see how that unravels. But yeah, like that's the thing too. I was like, okay, if I was in Luke's shoes, I'd kill, but at the same time, I don't want backlash. So if I kill Fred, they find out I'm Luke's husband, they go kill June. Like, I'm June's husband, they go kill June, right?
Yeah.
You know what I meant.
Yeah.
I had to correct it so your eyes like, wait a second, that didn't make sense. But the only reason I wouldn't do that is because of the backlash. But then if you're going to do something and have backlash anyway, why not just do the extreme thing? So I don't know. I'm struggling with that, but we're going to move past it.
Okay. We have June getting her check-in with Aunt Lydia and the little conversation that went on there.
Yeah, Aunt Lydia's still one of my favorite characters, man, for sure. We learn a little bit more about her backstory. That she was a godmother. She lost her niece at 4.
4 days.
4 days. I thought it was 4 years.
I thought it was 4 days.
Let us know. 4 years or 4 days?
And she said it's not her fault.
But the way she said it is like she was trying to convince herself it was not her fault.
She's such a good actress, so I could totally see that for sure. But there was one line that June had said to her where it was along the lines of, men that are willing to hurt women are willing to hurt kids too.
Fair enough.
Right? So it does make sense, but she's also describing literally all of fucking Gilead.
Yeah.
And I don't think Aunt Lydia saw it that way. I think she only saw it directed towards Fred.
Yeah. Well, she's a true believer, so blinders on, right? Aunt Lydia. But one thing I've noticed with Aunt Lydia is that if there like you call it, cracks in the armor. And I think this episode was one of those where we got to see a pretty big crack in the armor, because she's patient with pregnant women, very patient with them, gives them a little bit more leeway.
Yes.
But she has a stern line that she holds. And she even calls it in this episode.
And then she crossed it.
Because the baby. And that's the loophole that June's finding, is that when she brings up the baby to Martha, to Rita, the Martha, when she brings up the baby to Aunt Lydia, when she brings up the baby and puts the baby first, these people seem to want to break their traditional role, despite the punishment that could come from either of them from doing so, and lean more towards helping June.
She has built her whole identity around making sure the baby is safe.
And
Aunt Lydia.
We've seen June masterfully be using that value being so high for Aunt Lydia to get June what she wants.
That's the second time she brought up the godmother thing. First time was to Rita, when she had her bring up the milk. Right after that whole scene with Eden spoon feeding Isaac.
Yeah.
She asked Rita to bring up some warm milk.
Well, yeah, because he basically sent her to her room. It's like, it's time for your nap. And so she's like debating on how she's going to talk to her. And she's like, oh, bring it up. Because she even says, make sure you drink that. And June rolls her eyes like, I never wanted that. That's not what I wanted.
Yeah, I just wanted the conversation.
Yeah, so.
But Rita walked in the door. At first, she's annoyed. Like, you really made me bring you a glass of milk.
Well, yeah, if it were to be just like, hey, serve me, then Rita would have been like, bitch, please. Like, we're all slaves in this house. I ain't your slave. But no, it was like a, hey, the secret meeting kind of thing. So once she realized that, she was a lot less, upset with June for ordering her around.
And she agreed to be the de facto godmother as well.
Yeah.
For
June stacking up allies for the baby right now,
yes.
which is smart.
Yeah, it is.
Which is smart. But yeah, so we have Nick, instead of going and seeing Eden when he first gets home, he goes and sees June, fills her in on all the good stuff, which is great.
She's the letters.
Very, very happy to know that Moira's alive, Luke's good, the letters got out, and the letters were a direct impact on moving things in the right direction for her.
And Nick wouldn't kiss her.
Yeah.
He turned away when she went to kiss him.
He did, but still said, I love you.
Yes.
Before he left. And was very mindful of the fact that needed to get back to Eden before she was too suspicious.
Looking forward to the next one because I know it's coming and I can't wait to see your expression after you watch it. So
yeah, we got one more to watch and then we are off to Mexico and then we'll be back to it the following week. So
Tuesday we'll have our regular recording. Thursday we will not.
Yeah. Thursday we'll be en route to Mexico. We'll be back on Sunday evening, so videos will be dropping again that following week. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the like button. If you have not already subscribed, that's the word, to this channel, go ahead and do so. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you down in the comments. But before you do, if you're not done watching videos, we've got plenty. So stream away. We'll see you there. Peace.
Find the strength hiding in each battle scar. You're not who you were. You've already come far.